Today, we are going to be talking about more on how to mark your how to mark a valid break of structure, and also how to identify a valid market structure shift. Okay, so there are mistakes which most of you traders make. All right, uh, most of you traders don't know how to mark a valid break of structure, and most of you that know what is market structure shift. If you don't know what is market structure shift, check my previous video on my YouTube channel to uh, learn about what is a market structure shift. All right, and how to identify a valid market structure shift. We are also going to talk about how to identify a valid market structure shift right here. Okay. Now, if you look at if you take a close look at this zone right here now, you can see that this is a low and this is a high. This is a low and this is a high right here, right? And we have a low, right? And we have a break of this high, right? Now, how do you mark your break of structure, right? You A break of structure is said to be valid where a candle body breaks a low, right? Or when a candle body breaks a high, right? If a low was breaking by a week, let's say this candle now break this low with a week, then know that that is not a valid break of structure, but instead a sweep. All right. So now, if we want to mark this break of structure now, we mark it from here to this zone right here. And why are we marking this? Because this low right here was broken by a candle body and not with a wick. And also here, this is also a break of structure.
Make sure to
Okay.
subscribe and stay tuned for
And
more
it is
YouTube
valid.
videos like
And why
this.
is it valid? Because it is broken by a candle body and not with a wick. Now, look at this low right here now. This low, is this a break of structure or not a break of structure? So this low was first of all taken out by this wick, right? This low was first of all taken out by this wick. So if this most of you newbies would have marked here as your valid break of structure and then come here again and mark here as a valid break of structure, which is very wrong, right? This, if you mark from here to this week, this is not a valid break. A valid break of structure is said to be valid when a candle body breaks a low, right? And not with a wick. So you marking here as a candle as your break of structure is not valid. And also, if you are the type that mark your break of structure like this, you are making a huge mistake. All right. So now, how do we mark it correctly? How do you mark it correctly? You mark it correctly by like this. Why? Because this week that took out this low is not a valid break, but rather this candle that breaks this low is a valid break of structure, right? Now, we have a sweep of this low. Now, how do you identify a market structure shift? Remember, a market structure shift is a process where a market shifts from uptrend to downtrend, from downtrend to uptrend. If you don't know what is market structure shift, check my recent video on how to identify a valid market structure shift. All right. Now, how do you identify a market structure shift here? The price came and they took out this low, right? It came and they took took out this low, then went all the way and break this zone, right? It went all the way and they break this high, okay? Also came here and break this high again, all right? So giving us a valid market structure shift, all right? So remember, a market structure shift is when price went from uh, bearish to bullish, okay? Is when price went from, you can see that price went from bearish here, right, to bullish here, all right? So this is how to identify a valid break of structure, and also how to identify a valid market structure shift. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos like this. So if you don't know what is market structure shift, check my recent YouTube videos. All right.